there is a jump point that we can look back, pointing to this moment of Judas's hasty exit, and it is when a woman brings a very expensive bottle of what's described as N-A-R-D, N like Nancy, for a chicken dinner. What is nard? What is nard? What did the lady have in her hand that's called nard? Perfume. Give this man a...
Very expensive.
What do you want? Some spicy McNuggets? McDonald's has a new chicken strips. The chili cream sauce they offer is not as good as the hot mustard. I'm sorry, not as good. You can skip it. But the chicken for you. Yes, it's perfume. Very expensive. Now, back then, Jesus and the entourage, Judas was the treasurer. He held the coin purse. He held the money. So he's looking at this act that this woman does. The value of the nard was very, very expensive. Now, what was it normally used for? Chicken dinner on the line. Anybody? What is the benefit? What is it for?
Burial.
Preserve the...
To take away the stank. No bueno. So what does Judas at that moment that he's seeing, she's pouring the nard on Jesus, what does he grumble and complain about like this, and then within earshot of Jesus, and Jesus says, hold on. This is a good thing she's doing, not a stupid thing she's doing. She's not doing a foolish thing. She's doing a blessed thing. But why was he complaining? Anybody?
Wasting money.
Cannot get money from it.
Yeah.
Probably. Now, this is what in seminary you call argument in silence. Probably because he was already taking money from the till. He was already dipping his beak. Let me wet my beak. Have you ever seen this move? When you have two people and one person says, go ahead and wet the beak, and they go like this, like the chicken is eating bird feed from the mouth. You never seen two people do that? It's out there. So he might have been taking some of the money quietly, cooking the books, right? Do you know what that term means? Cooking the books. You got two sets of books. If you're an accountant, one the correct figures and one the figures that you show the whole world. That's what Doge did, was they opened the cooked books and they exposed all this corruption, right? So maybe he did complain. Judas says, don't you think this money would have been more wisely used to help the poor? You know, he used the correct answer, right? But he might have been disingenuous behind the scenes. He might have already been corrupt. Now, jumping into what we're reading here, you have two moments of the devil making an issue at this thing. You have it here right at the onset, verse 2. The devil had already put into the heart of Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, the thought of betraying Jesus. Then we have him then participating in, imagine being on death row, your Last Supper. Prisoners get oftentimes to pick what they eat. There, you can go on YouTube. There are a lot of what were the preferred Last Suppers of all these infamous people, and they sometimes don't go full fancy. They just say, I want a double cheeseburger with fries and a chocolate milkshake. That's a frequent request. So you have him there for that, right? If he was the bad guy from the get-go, why did he even get to participate in that? Then you have Jesus washing the feet of this guy that he knows is going to commit treason, right? Basically. Yeah, Yvonne earlier spoke about wanting to tear down her own kingdom. She was building her own thing separate from joint kingdom, right? We are supposed to be laying groundwork for a future. It's described as a Camelot, the story of King Arthur, a theocracy, where Jesus, one of his secret identities is the king of queens and kings. Who are these queens? Who are these kings? Is it the current roster? Queen Elizabeth, King Fahd of Saudi Arabia, King Carlos of Spain? No, sir. It's you and I, the people who are really vested in future royalty, future monarchs. So there will be a time for a castle. So hold on to those Lego building blocks, and they may come in handy down the pike. So you have right now Jesus telling the entourage through his BFF Johnny, now pay attention, I'm going to dip a piece of bread at this final supper, and I'm going to hand it over to the betrayer. Boom, right? So then only then. So you can be tempted. The devil lays seeds. You saw it, verse 2, and earlier when the woman's pouring the nard, the devil likes to be the instigator, right? Whispers of doubt, discouragement, depression, and you have to overcome those things. In this case, Judas went hook, line, and sinker and fell into it. He entered into agreements. It's one way that the seminary teaches you how to put it, with the bad thoughts that this and only this is the true thing of Jesus. That he's no different than the rest of us, and he's just enjoying the celebrity spotlight and letting women pour $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 bottles of perfume on his feet for a grand show. But that wasn't the case. But he entered into an agreement with the devil. So seeds can be planted in a person. Doesn't mean that they have to be cultivated and grow from that. So we have here later on the verse that says, only after the ceremony, the ceremony hadn't officially become the communion that we have today, the Eucharist, the breaking of bread and the wine to represent his broken body, his blood that set the captives free, that paid the full price for sins yesterday, today, tomorrow on our behalf. There's still the wages of sin. That's a separate issue. But only after he eats the bread. So he got to partake in all these other things. The betrayer. Jesus washed the feet of the betrayer. Why? And now Jesus, he got to partake of eating the bread. Why? The one who is going to eat this will betray me. And then only after eating it, then what happened? Satan entered him. So it was a seed planted. There was this. Father of lies, FOL, he's full, all right? He's full of himself. And then and only then, after a certain point, you enter into agreements, you allow it. Maybe you're distracted from other things of life, but then all of a sudden, then Satan enters, and then that's it. Then he tells him, hey, go take care of what you got to take care of. And maybe the room was noisy, like was suggested, and there were so many distractions, people were having a good time, or they weren't quite taking the whole thing in. And so he could have said that, and then they just thought, well, he's just getting up, he's the treasurer, he's getting up and going to pay for something, taking care of some biz, right? They weren't grasping the full picture. On a video that I created as part of the recent devotional, you have somebody talking about, there is I don't remember the exact name, but there is a key difference between the brain formation and I'm talking about physiological difference, not personality, emotional, but there's a physiological big difference, one main difference between a man and a woman. I didn't know this, and this was my physical therapist talking. You can find out more about it from the horse's mouth because he's in the video talking about it, but it's a section of the brain that what they conjecture is that a woman sees the big picture much more quickly than a man. A man's, by size, I'm speaking strictly, that portion of the brain, the man is quicker at little picture. Traditionally, if you do cumulative score totals between men and women, and the women see the bigger picture more quickly, and that's the way it is. God didn't want everybody cookie cutter, homogenized, the Stepford wives. He wanted people to be unique, each sex different, for example. I've said too much already, but I wanted to include this because I'll probably include this as part of what I'm teaching. You can stop there, but we're going to continue. So long for now.